I were given a woman that your guy raped it is crazy, right? Yeah, and you cross. And I tell you, whilst you want you're gonna nonetheless paintings with them, what you gonna feel so publicly. That man did a record with that raped my girl that he appreciated as nicely right. And after which went on a excursion with him. And the problem I surely have with that extra than just R.Kelly is the human beings that have been complicit enablers permitting this stuff to go on. And seeing this stuff taking place, it didn't do something approximately at Diamond Dash, has opened up approximately the truth that Jay-Z and R.Kelly groomed late singer Aaliyah, no matter the reality that they each knew she'd become underage. And it seems their courting performed a role in Rockefeller's downfall in a current interview with Kenny Attic, Riggs Rockefeller co-founder. And Jay-Z's longtime pal Dame Dash said he tuned into Surviving R. Kelly, the explosive 3-nighttime special that explores the unsettling sexual abuse allegations towards R. Kelly, and that he still feels revolted by using it. Dash instructed Griggs that the collection wasn't clean to watch, because it evoked painful reminiscences about Aaliyah, who turned into once the affection of his life. And strangely additionally, Jay-Z's closing crush Dash claimed that he had watched as lots as he could tolerate, and as a human he felt tight and hurt via the scenes he becomes seeing. He claimed looking a woman trying to put her ache and the events to words, but she couldn't, and all he should consider is how Lee also struggled to explain what occurred to her handiest. For her to depart it at that dude turned into a terrible man, what appeared to have harmed Dash the maximum, is the fact that his partner Jay-Z knew about Kelly's alleged misconducts with underage women together with Aaliyah. And despite the fact that there had been rumors circulating that Jay-Z also favored her, he nonetheless supported Kelly, or even teamed up with him to supply an album. Some months after Aaliyah's dying, Dash himself claimed he could not do anything approximately the state of affairs on what R. Kelly had accomplished to Aaliyah. However, he never intended to be associated with him, no longer after understanding the type of man he without a doubt is. He stated, "I did not actually need to recognize what he did to the volume that I could deal with it. Because that's what a person does. However, it changed into so much harm for her to revisit it. I would not want to revisit it without a professional. Whatever were given executed turned into terrible." Dash and Aaliyah had met and fallen in love in 2000 and persisted their dating till her tragic loss of life in 2001. It's quite surprising that, notwithstanding being referred to as Aaliyah's pal, Jay-Z released The Best of Both Worlds as a collaboration with Kelly several months after Aaliyah's demise. In place of paying appreciate to the girl, he once had emotions for Jay-Z, joined arms along with her assaulter, and attempted to make cash off her dying of path. Dame Dash strongly adverse the album, wanting nothing to do with the person who harmed his woman. He said, "In case you recollect The Best of Both Worlds, you don't see my call on that. I in no way wanted no a part of that." Dash said Jay knew about Kelly's alleged sexual abuse of Lee, considering Kelly even went beforehand and illegally married her, even as she changed into nonetheless underage. However, that failed to forestall his Rockefeller co-founder from teaming up with the singer. Dash also claimed he refused to be credited on the album, and that he donated his earnings to a breast most cancers focused corporation. Aaliyah supported. Dash explained, "I recognize I'm now not __. With that I knew morally we were not the same," referring to Jay. To Dash, Jay-Z operating with Kelly met Rockefeller was to fund, and what they had became over it wasn't an experience where he felt like he couldn't forgive the two, but greater, because he couldn't recognize why a morally upright guy could need to be related to a person of R. Kelly's liver. Until they have been alike, he persevered. It became over. I could not __. With it became something that to me, I don't want to mention unforgivable. But I could not understand it. Glaringly, Jay-Z knew about Kelly's bizarre obsession with younglings, but as opposed to disapproving it, he tolerated it, or greater like associated with it. It wasn't that big of a wonder within the notorious Hollywood industry. Well, hell broke loose for Kelly, and those found out that he had allegedly married Aaliyah in 1994, whilst she turned into nevertheless underage. And that she wasn't the simplest victim, the information have been solidified, whilst a former backup performer for R.Kelly testified that she saw Mr. Kelly carrying out a sex act with Aaliyah around 1993, while she turned into only 13 or 14 years. Vintage, the lady who testified below, only the name Angelette, informed jurors at Kelly's crook trial in Brooklyn that she became acting with him on tour whilst she went to visit the singer on his excursion bus, Angela claimed. The incident passed off manner back in 1993, more than 1 month earlier than he allegedly married Aaliyah. That means that he changed into having intercourse with a minor, and obviously the young lady need to have now not given consent for him to touch her. The woman turned into too younger to actually have been in such a scenario. And Kelly used her understanding pretty well that she began working on her career. Angela stated she closed the door and in no way spoke with Kelly about what she saw due to the fact, sadly, just like Aaliyah and endless different victims, she changed into going through the equal ordeal. Angela said she first met Kelly around 1991, while she became around 14-15 years old. And unfortunately for her, the singer started out to have a sex together with her, even as she became underage. And a student in high college, she recalled that he would regularly pressure her and numerous others who labored around him as backup performers to have sex. Angela additionally claimed that on a separate forestall in Washington, D.C. all through the tour, she had a group of other ladies, consisting of Aaliyah, had been reprimanded for breaking the singer's instructions not to depart therein, despite the fact that the ladies had made a ride to a 7-Eleven comfort store for food, she said. While he discovered of their disobedience, he demanded Robert advised all of us. We must put out, she said. It changed into deuce time. She brought explaining to jurors that the singer frequently supplied having intercourse with him as a form of paying their dues. Her testimony got here at the 15th day of Kelly's trial, at some point of which 6 accusers, together with Angelus, stated that Kelly had sex with them, even as they were underage. Angelus' accounts stood apart from others on account that Aaliyah turned into the youngest lady that Kelly had been accused of sexually abusing. There was also male accusers who testified in opposition to Kelly, with certainly one of them recognized handiest as Alex, saying Kelly groomed him for sex from while he was 16. He said that they started out having sex while he became 20, and that from 2007 to 2019, he became brainwashed by way of the singer. Aaliyah was the tremendous focus of Kelly's trial since the marriage of the two singers using falsified documents, while Aaliyah turned into 15 and Kelly turned into 27, changed into what precipitated the primary important scrutiny of his encounters with underage women. Ability sexual crimes that date to the early 90s would commonly be too antique to prosecute. However, the racketeering price, which claimed that Kelly turned into the head of a criminal scheme that preyed on women and underage ladies for intercourse, allowed the authorities to get a much broader range. Mr. Kelly, who became going through 1 depend of racketeering and 8 counts of violating the Person Act, which prohibits transporting human beings throughout nation strains for the motive of prostitution, ended up in prison, despite denying the accusation and pleading now not guilty to the prices against him. At the same time as his case changed into going on, JC failed to appear to be too worried approximately it, due to the fact that he himself have been accused of grooming Beyonce and Malia. Although Aaliyah did not share too much about her non-public existence, rumors swirled that she and JC may also have dated again within the day, and that the two would possibly have had a romantic relationship over a platonic one, properly in line with Damon JC's enterprise accomplice and friend, and also Aaliyah's boyfriend. It looks as if JC would possibly have had feeling for the beautiful R&B bow, even though she did no longer reciprocate his feelings. Advised the media outlet that although Aaliyah by no means reiterated the emotions in the direction of JC, he tried in reality difficult to get her. Thus far him consistent with Aaliyah, become so lovely and so fun to be round that everyone wanted to get with her. It was truly a low blow from Jace to Damon considering the fact that he teamed up with R.Kelly, the only character at her the maximum, regardless of the truth that him and Sprint had co-based Rockefeller facts collectively in the 90s. Reviews Nation that despite the fact that Jay-Z and Aaliyah hung out one time, nothing ever got here of it in reality. As soon as Aaliyah and met every different, they began putting out increasingly and started out having feelings for each other. The two dated from 2000 up till her loss of life as a result of the aircraft crash in 2001. A fan on Twitter said, "I might indeed love to peer extra conversation approximately JC doing the best of both worlds with R.Kelly in context with Jay-Z and Dame, additionally taking gain of Aaliyah's age after Kelly did, and JC grooming bans." Some others stated Rihanna and JC snoozing together turned into a rumor him messing with Beyonce.